Hello, everyone. A big congratulations to all of us across the country for the launch of our new Education Policy 2020. I think it is such a huge step by the government to launch India as a global knowledge superpower. Such amazing transformational reforms being suggested for the schools, for the higher educations. I think we are all looking forward to so many more conversations on that in our episodes coming forward from here. First, the big takes are like dissolving the 10 plus 2, bringing in 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4, bringing vocational education in a big way, online learning, e-learning, loads of stress on teacher training programs, lots of pedagogical changes for the curriculum, dissolving those hard boundaries around sciences and arts. So there's so much excitement for the students, for teachers, for parents, for principals. I think all of us are so looking forward to discussing this in a big way in our talks coming forward on Desk Doodles. But today's episode, let me begin it with a little story. So this story goes back long years when I was in seventh grade. And we had an English teacher, Mr. Michaels, and he was also the principal of our school at that time. He and his family had recently relocated from Canada to India, and they had a little baby. I still remember the name of that baby was Shivan. So once in a while, Michael sir would bring the little baby in a baby carrier hanging in front, and he would come to teach us. And while he would be teaching, sometimes the baby's head would be bobbing from side to side, or the baby would turn around and make a funny face or smile, and all of us, the entire class, would break into a laughter. And then Michael sir would also start laughing with us and talking about what all the baby is doing. Some days he would bring the baby and first start talking about us, about the baby, instead of starting off with the lesson that he wanted to do. And he would tell us what the baby's doing, crawling, eating, and all that. And we all got so excited with all of that. And I think now when I look back, what Michael sir did was that he just came down from the pedestal of the principal to somebody that we could just easily talk to, somebody we could joke around, have a laugh with. And what it infused in us was that every time Michael sir gave us some work, we put in our double the effort and energy to do that work. It was done before we touched any other subject. And it wasn't just us. I think the entire school worshipped the ground that Michael sir walked on, because you would see him standing in the corridor laughing with the kindergartners one day. You would see him standing and having a joke with the teachers someday. And I think somewhere the personality of him, the principal, just flowed into all the teachers and students and the entire mood of the school. I think that's what I think happens when a principal is energetic, principal is full of enthusiasm, and is ready to have open conversations with teachers, with students. Today on Desk Doodles, we have someone who is as energetic as that. She is always open to let students walk in, for teachers to come in and talk, somebody who wants to make teaching and learning a fun journey for everyone, every stakeholder there. She's very humble and a wonderful person to know. Uh, I think I'm so delighted to welcome today on Desk Doodles uh, Shefali Tyagi, who's been the principal of National Public School HSR for the past 4 years. She's been an educator for 20 years. Welcome to Desk Doodles, Shefali.
Oh, thank you very much, Sapna. I think I'm a very grounded person. You've put me on pedestal after that introduction.
No, no,
Thank you
never.
very much. I'm very happy to be here today, and thank you very much for inviting me.
Absolutely delighted and looking forward to an amazing conversation with you, like we've always had whenever we've sat across a table. And these times are such that we have to do it across the screen, but so happy to at least have you there to share so many thoughts with you.
Oh, I'm looking forward to having a fun time discussing things with you.
Great, great. So let's start with your story. How was your journey, been from till now?
Okay. If I have to sum up my journey in a few minutes, I would say that I've had a very normal life, very normal upbringing. Being a Fauji kid, I must say that making friends quickly came very naturally.
Right.
Adjusting to new places came seamlessly. So I can say that being from defense background, adapting and adopting to anything, be it people or place, came very naturally to us. We moved from small towns to another, one small town to another small town, and names of some of those towns, probably I think only a Fauji kid will know. Those are the kind of places we stayed in, but it was like a big family.
Right.
So after that, after my schooling, I moved on to do my BCom honors from Pune University, and then went ahead with my Masters of Business Management. Worked for 5 years in corporate. Actually enjoyed it, liked the work. It was enriching, and somehow, as the luck would have it, I landed in National Public School. It was in 2000,
Wow.
and it's been I think, yes, 2 decades. I mean,
Right.
I don't feel like that, but I just kind of as I said, it was just a destiny. I landed there,
Right.
and believe me, after that I haven't looked back. I was in NPS Indranagar as an educator for almost 15 years, and 2016 I took over the role of principal of NPS HSR. So this is making it, cutting the long story short. But I can tell you one thing, that till today, the thought of going to school gives me that excitement and energy. So it makes me realize that I think I am in the job, or I am in the work where I should have been. So I'm in the place where I enjoy the most. So
Right.
to sum it up, I am in the best place that I always wanted to be.
Absolutely. That I think that really sums it up very well, because whenever I've met you, it has come across so strong, and I think it's been your calling to be in something for 20 years and yet being excited about it, and every day feeling that excitement. I think that speaks volume about you found that right place for yourself, like you said.
Yes, absolutely. I enjoy every day. I enjoy every teacher, every child. So I feel I this was my calling, and it was some divine intervention to get me here.
Absolutely wonderful. And so today's talk, Shefali, we will start with something I think we generally read about, and that is that how do you think is the role of a principal in defining the strong positive school culture? What goes behind that?
Okay, so I think as far as school culture is concerned, I feel it's not something which you can see it. It's not something which is in front of you. So it's basically culture that impacts your school vision and actualization of that vision. So I feel culture, you can, some of it you can see,
Right.
some of it you have to feel.
Right.
So it's difficult to define a school culture. What can be felt, I will tell you, when you see any school event, or management or organization of an event, day-to-day activities, what you see, you can see the school culture there. When you see class displays, when you see bulletin boards, when you see other displays around the school campus, you can see school culture.
Let's go.
So I feel school culture can be seen when you see school events, as I mentioned, when you see class displays, when you see bulletin boards. Another point where you can see school culture, I feel, is the staff room, library, playgrounds, and washrooms. I feel even school culture can be seen there as well.
Yeah.
One very important aspect I have observed is that when alumni or the former staff members, they come and visit your school during school events, and the kind of treatment they get. that also conveys a lot about the school culture.
Right, right,
And this is what you can see, what you can feel. There is lots you can feel about the school culture. So when I talk about feel, I can see that you can the kind of conversation you see in the corridors, the kind of conversation you see between teachers and students, that also the vibes that you get, the feel that you get from the school campus when you move around, all that indicates a lot about the school culture. So, and I feel as a leader, I have a very important role to ensure that school culture brings in seamless change in the system,
correct,
because culture plays a very important role in bringing in change in the society
right,
and
right,
bringing in change in the school environment. So that's where I feel it creates a very positive, very conducive, very fun learning environment if
right.
the culture is positive and if it gives right vibes. So
Absolutely. Absolutely, you're bang on that, because like we teach science and we teach math, and then we
yeah.
know that the children know that, right? So we expect them to know it because we taught them. And the same way, I think there is a lot that you need to teach children. It's all about the behavior, or just as simple a thing as how you share, how you talk, how you respectfully disagree with someone. Simple thing like that, or being sensitive to others, being compassionate, or having empathy for people with different backgrounds or different communities. So I think there is so much that goes as a principal to design those kind of norms in the school, also setting discipline as a big regulation, not like that's something that I think needs to be universally applied, right? You cannot relax on that. So there are so many faces to a school culture, right?
Oh, yes. I think school culture is a combination of conversation and laughter. It's a combination of managing and monitoring. It's a combination of creating a positive environment in the school.
True.
It's about, as you said, agree to disagree
Yep.
in a more civilized manner. It takes time to build school culture, but you can see it, as I said, in events, in the movement in the school campus. When you move into a school, you can definitely feel those vibes. That is school culture, and it
Absolutely.
takes time to build school culture, and it is very important to sustain that culture,
Yeah, yeah.
and that requires a lot of effort.
I'm sure, because see, I think the teachers and the principal, I think you are the torch bearers of it. So when you bring in something, you're the living examples for those values, or what you're trying to set as a school culture. And then the children, kind of, when they see it happening around them, it is so much easier for them to imbibe those values, right? If they see that you're having fun standing in the corridor and talking, or you're working together, so those kind of I think values just get absorbed in the children by themselves when they see it around them.
Absolutely. You just hit the bullseye. I always feel that as a torchbearer of school culture, or as just to take it forward, I have to walk the talk.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
have to look into the mirror and probably not just preach but practice,
Right.
because I feel children learn, or even teachers for that matter, learn much more than what they see than what you say.
Correct.
So I cannot come late to school and expect them to be on time. If I say that you have to be in school on time, and that's my standard dialogue, then I have to make sure that I'm there.
Right.
And because it's a big responsibility, you're being observed all the time,
Yeah,
and you want to make sure you lead by example, which is
absolutely.
a big responsibility, but that is the I think that's the only way of setting the culture right,
Right.
or taking it forward.
Absolutely.
Another thing I feel what I can do, or I like to do, and I do it in the school, is to create a collaboration and transparent work environment. When I say collaboration, I feel that we should be happy in others' success as well, and we should
Right.
celebrate others' success as well. And when you do it and you see it being happening in the school, you feel you've done something right.
Right.
So that is about collaboration. And when I say transparency, everyone should know, you should come across as an objective and fair person, and that fairness and objectivity has to be imbibed in at every level in the school.
Right. Right.
So in fact, very interesting theme we had for our school last year, and we called it as stars. And
Oh,
we shared it with the teachers, we shared it with our school leadership team, and we shared it with the students as well. And we call it stars. And what exactly? It's an acronym. We gave a little bit of expansion to that, and we said we call it as sharing to achieve roaring success.
wow.
So we all together can achieve much more than what we would do individually. So that is the kind of collaborative culture we wanted to start. And just to make sure that that sharing and continues, and even the new teachers or the new students who join in, they need to be inducted and oriented into the system,
Right.
and they should the seamless integration into the new culture is very important.
Very
So we had something, we have a habit of giving a nice fun acronym to everything. So we had so we had something called MOP. We called it MOP, and it's like called it's mentor orientation program, where we have our own teachers who've been with us. They are the mentors
right.
for the new teachers, and there is a mentor mentee program that goes on. And uh, towards the end of the 1 year, there is a reflection and there is an evaluation process, which is very informal. But this is to ensure that new teachers also feel as much a part of the school culture as the existing ones or the older ones are there. So that is the kind of culture we create, and it creates a good work environment in the school.
Absolutely. And I think what you said was one small thing, but it is so important. I feel that, reflective educators are effective educators. So that is absolutely very, very necessary in the entire process. And when we talk about, the school culture, another important part of that culture is also the parent integration into it. And because I think the focus for the school as well as the principal and the teachers is the child. And if we have a platform, if we have a space where parents can walk in, if they can have an open dialogue about all the hopes and the aspirations about their child, it could be as mundane as the homework, or it could be maybe an upcoming test, or whatever behavioral issues they might be facing with their children. So if they have an environment where they can just come and talk, I think somewhere when the school takes them into the fold and walks that path, I think the success of that child is absolutely visible, right?
Yes, absolutely. I think parents have to be also integrated into the school culture. And we conduct a whole lot of these programs where parents are involved in the school system. So I feel to let them get the feel of the culture, they should be involved in the school system.
True, true.
So we have something called parent engagement program, and which we have made it. We have many such programs. I will just share one or two such programs with you. This parent engagement program is particularly for grade 8 parents, and we conduct it for a week, and we call it as PEP. So, so it's like 1 week time. We ask all the volunteer parents to come and conduct sessions for their own children or group of those same age group,
Right,
basically.
right,
They conduct sessions for a week on anything that they're interested in. It could be calligraphy, it could be artificial intelligence, it could be sketching, anything that they are passionate about. So we've had some parents coming and teaching them how to bake, or cook without fire, those kind of activities for a week.
yeah.
And end of that week is a culmination. So, and culmination is that these children, they perform for their parents.
Wow.
So and it's a lot of fun activity. We have those fun-filled activities where parents and children are involved. So it basically gives them an insight to what we are doing with the children.
Right.
And I must tell you that after each session, I meet those parents, and I've always got one question from them: how do you all manage 30 of them in a class for almost 8 hours. So I always tell them, my mission accomplished. Now
Right,
you have much more respect for teachers.
right,
And so this is it creates a lot of bonding. It's a bonding time. It creates a big bond, strong bond between all the three parties. I would say the three
correct.
important stakeholders like parents, teachers, as well as students. So that
Absolutely.
is
So
that
I
has been a very
think,
successful program.
and I think you're sharing those all the programs that you run with all the fancy acronyms, of course. It's, I think, it goes to show that you are so invested in the, building of that solid, powerful school culture. So moving on from that, when we are talking about it, Shifali, it brought out so many facets to your work as a principal. So you're a staffer, you're managing, and you're conducting exams and tests and excursions and events and parent interactions and so much of paperwork. In all of that, how do you manage or take time out for your student interactions and teacher interactions?
Oh, well, I am an educator first.
Right,
And I must say that whatever NPS HSR does, it is with a team of a big, very, very supportive team that I have. So I will not take the credit for it at all, because I have a very energetic, very sprightly team, and they come up with lovely ideas. So I have to just say yes, we can go ahead and do it.
right,
As far as my interaction with the staff is concerned, we have I personally feel that if my interaction should staff should be much more, because if my staff is happy, if my teachers are happy, they will obviously emit the same kind of energy to students.
right,
So we have again, I said I'm a very fun-loving person. So there are a lot of fun things that we
good.
between we do with the teacher as well. So we have a lot of these fun activities which we do with teachers. So I will tell you what we do with teachers, and teachers obviously carry it on to their classrooms. So I like to spread happiness. I like to spread positivity, and I think that's what we do. We generally have a program which is only for teachers, exclusively for teachers by teachers, and it's called Parichay, and basically introduction. So get to know yourself better, and we do it on a Teachers' Day. This year, I'm sure we will not be able to do it because of the current pandemic. And this is the time where teachers explore their various facets of their personality, some things that you always wanted to do but couldn't do it. So we've had stand-up comedy, we've had dances, we have had all the hidden talents. They bring it up for the teachers. We've
Right,
had hilarious, humorous skits. So it's only for the teachers. So we are just doing it for ourselves,
right.
and we are enjoying it. So that is one very, very successful event that we have, and we really look forward to it.
And you're part of it, like you're in
Of course, I'm very much part of it. I'm very much part of it, and they know it. I will be there. So
Yeah,
I
I
think
can't
that gives them more
imagine.
energy.
I can't imagine you just watching, because I know you. You would be right there in the center of
Oh
it.
yes, oh yes, oh yes, and we really plan it, and we we plan even to enjoy. So our
Right.
enjoyments are also very well planned. And last year we got a great idea from my art department, and we call it as PIE.
Okay.
Okay, it's called Paint, Innovate, and Express. So
Wow.
we divided the teachers in small groups and gave them those old used canvas and colors, and we just told them, do whatever you want, just express yourself. You will not believe my the teachers whom we never thought would be painting, because we've always seen them driven with technology. We never knew they have a artist within. So we could see it was such a event where we could express ourselves, be ourselves, and actually relax.
Right.
So that was one event. I mean, we keep doing many such. One is called CAP, where culinary art presentations. So teachers
Wow.
come up with all the items they can cook and present, and theme-based cooking. So we had Halli Mane, where each one brought their own the dishes from their own state.
Wow.
So many things we do for as far as as teachers are concerned. For students also, we do a whole lot of things. We create a lot of opportunities for them to express themselves. We give them a lot of effective and actually well meant praise, acknowledge them, and appreciate them. So those are not in a big way, but in a small way. Like if one child is very interested in going to the library and reading books, so he gets a very personalized bookmark, so which is appreciating his interest in reading. So those are small things we do, and I think that adds a whole lot of fun element and positivity in the school culture.
I'm sure. And I think every student of yours and every teacher of yours is right now really dying to get back on that campus and having all these fun things that you always plan out for them. But in all of this, Shefali, something else I feel now has been added to your role, right? With all these things that you told about, now that role is of a digital principal, right? And so how does that play out in your daily day now with this new role?
I know. I think we can't help it because we can say that crisis. This particular crisis is paired with opportunities as well. I would say that it has given us a lot of areas to explore in terms of technology, and we have learned to appreciate and utilize technology to transform education and even to explore our own full potential.
Right.
I would say that first, what this being a digital principal has taught me is to face the camera. So I have learned to shoot videos and send it to teachers and parents,
Wow.
and we all have done that. So I would say that technology has taught us a lot.
Yeah.
And as far as taking technology to teaching and learning is concerned, I must thank the vision of our director, Dr. Bindu Hari, because 2 years back we included, I would say, smart classrooms,
Right.
smart boards to our classrooms. So that way, teachers were trained and they were well aware of the technology or usage of technology for teaching them.
Right. Right.
So that part was taken care of. So resources were there and they were comfortable with technology. But this came as a surprise. This came as a big surprise because they were used to using technology as an aid to
Right.
teach the students face to face. But this became such a sea change because it is now virtual,
Right.
and you are not seeing the students. You are so it became as a big surprise for them. But I must say, teachers have put in a lot of effort, and they are learning. How I can tell you what we to make them comfortable with digital world. When there was a thick of lockdown, we encouraged teachers to shoot a video of 45 seconds to 50 seconds, less than a minute, about what they are doing and what they are learning and how they are spending their time positively in that lockdown period. Of course, I started with mine was the first video that went to the teachers, and then it excited them, and so they got used to facing the camera, shooting. So it was a hidden curriculum that we kind of achieved by asking them to shoot what they're doing, and in the process they learned the technology. They became friendly with the technology.
True.
So hereafter we have been shooting a lot of videos. So we have our meetings online, we have our timetabling sessions happened online. I go for my class observations online, and I give my feedback to the teachers online. So it's like we are getting comfortable with virtual meetings and virtual interaction. So
Right.
that is, yeah, you can say that I can call myself a digital principal, a fancy term, of
No, of course,
course.
because I think the role of a digital principal, is not just when you're in front of the camera. You put everything in place for everything to function smoothly in a methodical way, which is also you've been, behind the scenes, but making everything function smoothly, not so that the education of the children is not derailed. They're right on the
Yeah.
path that they need to be. So there is a lot of process that is going on in the backdrop, and that is, I think, has been your major role, in making that happen. Because the children might not see you, but I'm sure each and every child knows that all the fun, because see, children are very adaptive to the new. They love new things. And I think as adults we don't absorb, adopt the new so easily. But for children, I think even this online learning must have been a lot of fun in the beginning, like they exploring the, whether they can mute themselves or unmute themselves or go and switch on the camera. So those kind of things that would have excited them. And I think they're thankful to their principal for making those things line up so well. Of course, it's a team effort. It's about the teachers and the principals working together to make it function. But I think there is a vision that you lead them with, and that is so nice to see.
It's a big team. It's, yeah, you're right. It's a big team that's working behind. But yes, I call my students, digital natives. So they are
Yeah,
digital natives, and I like to call the classes are no more education oriented. They're edutainment. There has to be education. There has to be entertainment, and for that, teachers have to work a lot. And we keep doing those little things to make sure that we are connected with the students even in this digital time.
right,
We
right.
have those recently after the results came up, and I was extremely happy with the performance of the students, and of course congratulating them. So I shot a small video and sent it to them because I couldn't call each one, so I thought that's the best way. And for our students, we all the teachers put together, created a video with their best wishes and messages and sent it to them. So we are trying to make sure, it's very important in times like this to stay connected with them. So we are making a lot of effort to stay connected with them, to make sure that they feel that we are there for them, even though it is a digital world, but we are still there for them to help in any way. So that is something, yes, we are working, and teachers are trying to make classes as edutaining as possible.
Absolutely, and I can guarantee that it must be there, because if you are such a fun-loving person, I think you transfer that to your teachers, and then the teachers transfer it to the children. And
It's a cyclical process. I would just like to add here. Yeah, I transfer to the teachers. Teachers transfer it to the students, and students pass it on to me.
pass
So I
it on.
get my energy from.
True, true,
So we keep
absolutely.
passing on positive energy all over.
Absolutely. And I think seeing smiles are all around, it ensures that, you've done the right job and you're on the right path. That's true. So when you were talking about, creating that kind of an environment where, the children know that you're there. From there, I would like to, come to another very, very important part of your role. I think in the present times, we see there's a large increase in the number of mental health issues around us, whether related to students, whether related to teachers, even sometimes with the parents. Those things do affect a school as well. So as a principal, how do you address those issues? A lot of time must be going into that as well.
Oh, yes. I think mental well being has always been our priority. And in times like this, it becomes even more important.
True.
Um, because we talk about work from home, we talk about social distancing, and we talk about staying indoors. So, all this creates a lot of stress and pressure on these teenagers and as well as on teachers, I would say.
True, true.
So we want to ensure that there is, these things are addressed, these issues are addressed in the right manner. We do have a professional counselor, but our chairman, Dr. KP Gopal Krishna, always felt that every teacher can be a counselor. Every teacher can be an emotional anchor for the students. So we work on that philosophy. And despite having a professional counselor who kind of leads this mental wellness program for teachers as well as for students, we have equipped and trained our teachers to be able to handle emotions of the students. So we try and do it in different levels, I would say.
Yeah.
If I say, it can be done at an organizational level, it can be done at a pedagogical level, it can be done at a relational level. So when I say organizational level, we believe in student behavior management. So we don't believe in punishment or reprimand, or there is a way of handling a
Yeah.
situation. So that is something at an organizational level we insist on. And we have CBSE also insists on life skills, but and we have integrated life skills and mental wellness and emotional well-being integrated into each and every classroom. So each teacher is connected with the students. If they see there is a need for any support, we make sure we provide that. And so I also spend a lot of time with students as well as teachers, talking to them. Physically now it's not possible, but I used to spend a lot of time talking to them. And I always felt that if you try and understand and go to the root cause,
Yeah.
you can eliminate the issue forever. There's no need to control it by there is no word as punishment, there is no word as consequence. We
Absolutely.
don't even say consequence, we always say that behavior management. We
Yes.
need to manage that behavior, and for that teachers have to be very well equipped. So that's how we promote positive and supportive
Yes.
culture in the school for better mental health.
Correct. And I think what all efforts that you're taking to create that environment to, give support to people who are, going through a stressful problem. I think having someone there 24/7 who is there to listen to them, I think is the biggest, step forward, because I think people who go through a particular kind of a stress, all they need is someone who can just listen to them without passing a judgment, without giving them a lecture on how things need to be. Just hearing them out is, I think, one of the biggest steps that need to be taken, which you are definitely, you have people in place to address those issues. And another thing that you said, I think, was very important, was that all the teachers are there for the children to openly discuss things with, which is so important, because a classroom is a very safe environment for a child. And if the teacher is so invested in the children, I think it creates a very, very warm and comfortable environment for the child to open up and discuss whatever that child is going through.
Yeah, so we have this circle time which works very well, for the students, and so that way they are able to understand. Sometimes they don't even understand their emotions. So
True.
this circle time helps them understand their emotion
Right.
and relate to it better.
Yeah.
So that works well. We have a lot of these small sessions which helps them develop their emotional strength.
Right.
So a lot of activities we do that way.
Yeah.
So that's teachers are doing. And for teachers,
Yeah.
we have basically some sessions we have organized for them from 3 to 4. These are all virtual sessions
Right.
where all the co-scholastic teachers are taking art class,
Wow.
taking dance class, taking dramatics, yoga. So all this happens virtually, and so it kind of you need some time to connect with people,
Right.
and you need some time to explore different aspects of your personality. So that is what helps them. So
True.
those sessions are there, and for students also, we are trying to make things as normal as possible in this current scenario. We are having our student council, meetings. They're canvassing for the posts, those voting, all that we are trying to do online, so that they are equally involved in the school functioning, and they feel that things are as normal as possibly can be. So we're trying to bring normalcy to day-to-day life.
True, and I think that that's where again that you're making sure that the children feel as if it's a their regular education. It's just that the platform is different, but you're kind of putting all those little activities that were there in place and making fun for them. So, would you like to share some other fun memories that you have with the children as a principal that you've had with them, or with your
Oh,
two?
I've had lots of memories with the principal, as a teacher as well. So I would say that some of the students feel these online classes. I keep asking them, how do you think these online classes are? What is good about it? So they keep wondering, ma'am, what is good about it? We are not going to school. We are not meeting our friends. We are not having those chit chat sessions during lunch break. No corridor conversations. We are missing all whole lot of it. I said, no,
Right,
you think what is positive about it? So one of them said that yes, one positive part is that you can't see what I'm doing. I could be sitting there, and I could be standing there or dancing around, in the class, but nobody is able to see me. So I feel sometimes even those, and there is no backbencher here.
right,
So all the everyone. So that is something I felt that they have a voice now,
true.
and they are not hesitant to voice it, because they know sometimes it gives them more confidence. That invisibility has sometimes given many of the kids a lot of confidence.
Absolutely.
So again, as I said, eternally positive person, I have found a lot of positivity in even in these virtual classrooms.
Yeah.
So, and one incident I must say that a little girl, when I was, I think I had just taken up this role, and maybe a year or two, I generally have a habit of going around the campus and talking to them, and
Right.
meeting. I like to listen to what they have to say. So there was one, I think, a grade two or grade three girl. She was observing me quite intently. So I didn't know why exactly she was looking at me like that. So I asked her, "How are you?" So she said, "I have a question for you." I said, "Yes, what is your question? How difficult is your job?"
Oh,
I was completely stumped by that question. I smiled and I told her, your smile makes it easy for me. And that is my reward. And I walked out. But I kept thinking that
wow.
a child who is all of probably 7 or 8 is has asked me a question where I was completely stumped, thinking, what makes my job difficult?
But I think, I mean, amazing. It's just a child's perception of things, right? And I think, again, it speaks a little bit about the fact that you have opened the door for the children to come up and talk to you. You're so approachable. That is another one big thing, I think, as a principal. I feel that it is a very important part, in developing that culture that we were talking about, so that they're not hesitant to come up and say something to you. They know that you're like, you're one of us, and I can just go up and say something. I can have a laugh with the man standing there, and I can discuss maybe a ball game with her, and she'll be fine. It's not something like she's the principal and I'm right there. So you've bridged that gap so beautifully for children to say things to you openly like that.
I must say that is my source of energy. I mean, I have many such anecdotes which I come up on a day-to-day basis, and I kind of remember most of it, because every time I think about those, it brings a smile on my face. And
And
I think because sometimes these grade one or kindergartners, they would come and peep into my room and they say, "What are you doing?" So there's no one in the office. They feel that there has to be some children around for me to do something.
oh.
For them, it's quite amusing to know that I'm sitting all alone in my office doing nothing.
And I think it's a child's world is so imaginative, right? And I remember when I was in NPS Kormangla, and I was teaching the kindergartners. So one day a parent came up, the other day she came to pick up the child, and she says, "Ma'am, I have to tell you that yesterday it was a weekend, So we were passing by from the school, and the child, and they were in the car. So she says, can we go and meet ma'am? The daughter told the mom. So mom said, ma'am won't be there. She says, no, ma'am said that I'm always there, so you can come anytime you want. And she said it was like after dinner or something, they were going back. And she says for her, it's like the school and the teacher and the principal, they're all part of that world, and they're always supposed to be there. So it's a very warm feeling to hear things like that when children come up and, say things like that.
I think school and teacher becomes their world.
Their
So
world.
that's amazing. That's the beauty of teaching profession.
Right, right. And also, I think it speaks again, like we were talking about the culture that you create around those children. That is so important for them to feel this kind of a warmth. If they have, an open, friendly, a very enthusiastic, a very energy loaded, environment around them, that's when it gives them that, kind of an encouragement to come up with these kind of conversations. So,
Yeah, I mean, I never feel principalship is a position. I feel it's a role,
yeah,
and you have to just take it as a role and be an educator first, an
absolutely.
administrator later.
Yes, and you've donned all those hats so well, Shefali. So before we wrap up the session, before we come to a conclusion, what message do you want to give to your students or your teachers out there? I know it's a tough time right now with this COVID situation, but we're always positive, and we always want to feel that this is a big learning time. It's not to be taken as a big negative. It is a very big positive time for all of us.
I feel it's as it. I think being a teacher, all of us tend to be an eternally positive person, and we try and find positivity in every situation and every person. I think that's what makes a teacher.
Right.
Uh, I don't know if I can tell a small story here
Please,
in
please go ahead. Yes,
as
of
a
course.
concluding statement, because I think as teachers we become storytellers, isn't it?
Ah, totally.
So I must you must have heard of course you know about the Great Wall of China, and the story is built around the Great Wall of China, and we all know that Great Wall of China is the only structure which can be seen from the moon, and it was built so high, very high, that no one could get over it. It was built so thick that nobody could tunnel through it. So it was a majestic structure that was built to ensure safety of people. It even exists today after so many centuries. And people of China felt that they were very safe and secure, and they sat within those four walls and thinking that they are now safe. That feeling of security came into them, and but you know something that within those first 100 years, China was invaded thrice, despite that wall.
All.
So when the enemy came, they didn't come through the tunnel and crossing the thickness of the wall. They didn't come over it by jumping across the wall because it wasn't possible. They came through the gate which was kept open for them by the guards. So you know what happened? Somewhere, this story tells us that they built the structure, but they forgot to build integrity and patriotism among children.
Right.
I don't know the authenticity of the story and how factual it is, but there is one big lesson which comes from this story, is that education is extremely important, and education with values
Yeah.
will make it a complete package. So I would tell, if I have to give, I think I'm just been in this role for 5 years, and there are stalwarts around. So I don't know what I can advise them, or I can send a message to them. But my message would be that be an educator first, an administrator later. Because whether we talk about people or whether we talk about paper, process, policies, all are meant for people. And we have to value people first.
Right.
So that is something I've always felt very strongly about, and that's why I'm saying. And of course, if your people are in place, your papers and documents and procedures will definitely take care of itself. So that is what I would tell. And I also feel another thing I strongly feel about is empower them, empower your people, because if you need to equip them with with all the skills to take care and empower them to take those decisions and take those skills forward. So that is something I feel is extremely important as the role that I'm doing right now. And for the teachers, I would say that these are tough times for teachers, and but I still strongly feel that this is one profession that makes the entire society. So as teachers, you need to give that much importance to it, because future resource, that is our children, is in your hands and you are molding them. So you have to feel proud about it. We have to be learners for life.
Yeah.
To be a teacher, you need to be a student first. So please upskill and upgrade yourself all the time, because you're dealing with digital natives. And
Right.
it's okay if you don't know digital world so well, but you must know your concepts well. So there are two ways of connecting with students. One, you should know your concepts well, and one, you should know them.
Yeah.
And if you know both, then you are a star teacher. So
Yes.
that is something I would say. And of course, for parents, I would say it's a tough time for parents.
Yeah.
They are like proxy teachers, or they're doing our role there, and it's a time when they're loaded with responsibilities and work. So but I want to tell them one thing, that please remember that this is parenthood is about raising the child you have, not the child you wanted to have. So it's extremely important to make most of the time that you have in hand. You will never get such time again. So spend
Absolutely.
time with them, be proxy teachers for them, and mold them for who they are.
Right.
And that's all I have to say about
Absolutely.
my small little message for everyone.
You have summed it up so well, Shefali. You brought in from each one, you've given something for everyone right now. And I think that is so important because the vision of the school for the student is not only for what that child knows or what that child is going to learn. It is about what kind of a person that child is growing to grow up into. That is so important as a vision for the school and the student's success. And the second thing that you brought in was that the unity, the belief, and the trust of all the stakeholders, the principal, the teachers, the student, and the parent, not forgetting the parent at all, because it's
Not
an amalgamation of everyone's effort to make this vision right, right? And and last, I think the most important one, empowering yourself with the right skills, and not only about the academics, but about increasing your EQ as well at the same level as your IQ, because we want our children to be enriched and successful citizens having both the skills with them, right? And I think you brought out each and every aspect of education so well today. Thank you so much, Shefali. I think I had an amazing time having these wonderful conversations with you, getting an insight into your wonderful school, have how your teachers, your children are so happy in the wonderful environment that you've created for them.
Thank you very much, Sapna. I enjoyed it. And as always, I think we enjoy interacting and talking, because
Absolutely.
we are almost on the same page most of the time.
Absolutely. I think that's what one thing that you said was that, teachers, they need to have just two loves. They need to love the children and they need to love the subject they're teaching. And then you're a star teacher anyways, right? So
I
thank
call
you.
them my rock stars.
Absolutely. And you're my rock star today. You've brightened the day today with so many wonderful thoughts for us.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much. Thank
Thank
you
you
very
so
much. Have
much.
a great day. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye. Thank you, everyone.